Growing up as a student in Singapore, I was always told that we had to get good grades, to study hard so that we can have more options in life and pursue the course we wanted. But yet, what were these options? We didn't get to spend a lot of time exploring what our paths could be. And I had interest. I had interest in games and technology, but at the same time, my teachers often treated those things as distractions. My teachers would tell me that Louis has a lot of potential, if only he focused more on his studies. As the youngest in my family, what actually helped was the people that I got to talk to, my parents, my siblings. The conversations with them helped me to clarify what I wanted in life. They encouraged me to pursue my dreams, to pick up skills that eventually led me to study game design, work in the US in the games industry, fulfilling my childhood dreams. But this story isn't the most common in Singapore. Most of us spend more than 10 years in education. At the end of these 10 years, being quite unsure where do we want to be in our lives. It felt to me quite a pity that those precious years of our life spent going through school without getting more clarity about where we should be. Since 2015, I've been running career workshops with secondary school students around Singapore, thousands of them. We've brought students on company visits to learn about the different sectors that are out there. We design hands-on experiential tasters for what the jobs might feel like and encourage them to pursue their dreams. But then we encountered a very harsh reality that we spend 95% of our time in class, in tuition, preparing for exams. But we spend 5% or less of our time preparing for life, to figure out what are our strengths, who we are as people, what our paths should be. How do we manage money? How do we manage our relationships with our parents, even dating? We don't spend much time on that. So, we should do more for our young people, but at the same time, teachers are already overworked. They have to be teachers, administrators, and nowadays counselors, coaches, social workers as well. There's too much for a single person to do. So I thought, what if we involve people who are not teachers into the equation? And we came up with a very unusual idea. We created a co-working space inside of a secondary school. Everyday people like you and me get to work from home inside of a school. People who are alumni, parents, freelancers, entrepreneurs, and so on. We would have conversations with students at a water cooler, at a canteen. We would run mini workshops and support students and have conversations about life. So the learning doesn't just come from textbooks, but also from life experiences. One of the things that we really love to do is supporting students' interests. Earlier this year, we had a bunch of 13-year-old students come forward and said they love Beyblade. Any of you into Beyblade? Okay, cool, some of you. We sent a couple of mentors to support them in this process. Within weeks, they put together a Beyblade competition. They managed to put publicity posters around the school. They invited schoolmates to come attend. They even managed to get sponsors to get prizes for the students. Beyond that, they went out into the public to run events outside as well, to get the public involved in these competitions. In this process, they were playing roles like event organizers, MCs. They learned to manage money. They learned to do public speaking. Skills that they will use for life. I'm not sure that they will do professional Beyblade, but those skills will be useful. And the best part is they were having fun the whole way through. Another pretty interesting thing that we do is we design this community trail where we bring students out into the neighborhood to talk to the bubble tea shop auntie, the grocery stores, the people who run a cafe, people that you and I may think of as NPCs. Just pay them money, they give you food, and you forget they ever exist. So in these trails, we get to talk to many people, and one of these people we went to talk to was someone who worked at a Chinese desserts shop. This lady came out and spoke with us for about 20 minutes about what she does for work, what she does in life. Chinese desserts. One of the students asked her a very curious question. He asked, if you could do any job in the world, what job would you want to do? I sensed some judgment, that maybe this job wasn't very attractive, and maybe she didn't have options. That's why she's making desserts. What really inspired me was her response. She said, I don't think I'm going to do anything different. At most, I might start my own dessert shop. I love what I do because during family gatherings, I can make desserts that everybody likes. I don't have to bring work home. I can spend a lot of time with my loved ones. And in our culture where we seem to hustle and compete so much and try to work so hard, many of us are seeking fulfillment and contentment. And it's amazing that wisdom can be found, that happiness can be found in making desserts for a living. Now back to school. One of the common things that we get to do in schools or we get to see in schools is parent-teacher meetings. And you know what parent-teacher meetings are like. It starts with talking about your growth, which subjects you did well in and how you've improved, followed by that tense interrogation for your weaker subjects. Why is it just a C? Have you been studying? And many of these conversations end up with parents pushing tuition onto their kids. All the while, kids are no clearer about where they want to be in life. Conversation doesn't go there. So to improve the situation, we designed interactive booths and stations within the school. We got parents to talk to their kids and have a discussion about what would the kid like to be as an adult? What kind of traits would they like to have? What kind of future life would they want to have? And to go beyond that, we asked parents to share your own journey with your kids. How many of you knows what your parents do for work? How many of you really know what they do, like every day? And do you know why they pursued that path? Some of you, but many of us don't. And that's a very worthwhile conversation. There's a lot we can learn from our family, from our parents, if only we have that conversation. The important part here is not only about that career and life path, it's also about rebuilding that bond between parents and children. Don't just talk about results. This is what learning can look like when everyday people like you and me get involved in education, to contribute to learning. Today, our youth are experiencing a lot of challenges. We have parent and children relationships growing further apart. The youth themselves are losing a sense of hope, a sense of self-worth. We have teachers that are burning out. Graduates are finding it harder and harder to find jobs. Life is just becoming very stressful. So we need to have more conversations to support each other. It's no wonder we're feeling lost. We don't have enough conversations. So here's my simple idea. Maybe the future isn't about improving schools, because that's huge and difficult to do. Maybe the focus of what we can do is to improve the conversations we have with young people. I found my path because my parents, my siblings talked to me. We had conversations about what I wanted to be in the future. I also had conversations with my mentors and my role models, and that helped me find clarity about life. The future of learning is not just in classrooms. It's also out there in cafes. It's in communities and living rooms, wherever people can talk, share stories, and learn from each other. So go out there, talk to people, hear their stories. Don't just talk about your results and your grades, talk about your dreams. No matter how realistic your dream might be, talk about them. And support your friends, support your loved ones. These dreams are worth supporting. Connect your friends and your children to opportunities that are out there and encourage them to take action. The future isn't something that we just wait for to happen. The future is something that we build together. And it's something that starts from something as simple as just having a conversation. So, lean over to someone that you trust and ask them, let's have a conversation about the future. I can't wait to find out what you end up discussing. Thank you.